Sorry to disappoint you. So what was your expectation? Nah, I'm just an everyday dude. Oh, you expected perfection? This is what Christianity is supposed to be like. I make mistakes, like lots of mistakes. I'm just trying to do the best that I can do. I guess I'm just imperfectly human. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this week's special behind the scenes episode of the Imperfectly Human podcast. We're doing something a little different this week because before I hit the record button, we were just talking about how life happens. That's the best way to put it. Life happens. And life happened to me, and life happened to Terrence this past few days. So we thought, rather than just recording a normal episode, we wanted to just talk and allow you guys to just sharing some of our behind-the-scenes conversations that we normally have. Like we said a number of times, Terrence and I get on here on this, and we just talk. So we're kind of doing that now. So we're gonna forget that you guys are here and carry on with our conversation. Right. I just wanted to say hello.
Right. So this is the imperfect part of the imperfect.
This is the imperfect part.
Yeah, this is it. So like I said, we both got on and we both like, today ain't it.
Today was not it. I'm running on 1.5 hours sleep. And then, I was gonna do an impromptu room on Clubhouse today as well. Don't ask me where I was trying to fit this in, because I was like, let me check my calendar, let me check my schedule. I've got a time slot here. I could fit a room in here for about an hour, do this. Yeah, so I tried to do that. Clubhouse was glitching like crazy, bro. I was mad as hell because it was making me, I had to tweet say, Clubhouse is making me look like a flake. So that room that I was planning, I'm gonna have to reschedule it. But and I thought the room was gonna be fire as well. So I was just like, this just, it wasn't the one. It wasn't happening today. Nothing was lining up. I woke up in a bad mood, because when you have 1.5 hours sleep and then have to jump on a 9 o'clock meeting, you're like, I don't want to talk to no one. I was in the mood. People had put in my calendar for today, and I was like, nope, I am not talking to you. Goodbye.
Yeah,
it was one of those mornings.
Yeah, when you were talking, it just what came to me was a scripture that I had that was for my Bible study. What's today? Tuesday. It was either Sunday or Monday, but I'm gonna go to my notes and read it, because what you were talking about, it made me think about it, and I'm gonna pull it up. I'm scrolling through my stuff. Y'all bear with me. We still imperfect, so it's all
yeah.
Okay, so here you go. So it's Hebrews 10th chapter, 36th verse, and this is in the Amplified. So it says, "For you have need of patient endurance to bear up under difficult circumstances without compromising, so that when you have carried out the will of God, you may receive and enjoy to the full what is promised."
Yeah.
And when I read it, and even just like what you talk, and just kind of like what we talked about before, like it's one thing to be patient, but then to endure while you being patient. And that's the thing, because like I said, it's hard when you got a lot of stuff that you want to do, and you want to switch gears and go like, okay, Lord, it's time. Like, I got to go. Boom. And you try and hit the switch, and then like you feel like you still in place, like you didn't go anywhere. It's like I'm spinning. It's kind of like
you feel like you stalled.
But like, you know how you drag race and everybody like spinning out before they go. That's what we're doing, is like burning rubber but not going anywhere. And and I know that's something that's difficult, but it's something that I think in this season, when you're trying to, so in the season of manifesting things, is having that patient endurance. So even if it is not working, just like what you were saying with Clubhouse, it being patient and enduring that time, but also enduring it to set up to when things do fall in place, you're not burned out. And that's the balance, because it's like, and that's a struggle for me. It's always, how much do I do and how much do I trust God? And that's a continuous balance. Like, it's like a teeter-totter every day. Like, okay, Lord, this is what I feel like, I'm passionate about, I'm led to do, or even I feel like you calling me to do.
Anticipation versus expectation.
Yeah. How much do I do and how much I wait?
Patient versus expectation. That is a struggle that I'm having with myself all the time. I'm like, okay, God, I know you got so much in store for me. I know you've put so many ideas in me. Yeah. I'm getting new ideas on a regular, and I'm still trying to execute the ones you gave me before. So what do I have to do to get to where I need to be so that I can start to move forward? Because this stuff feels like it's just backing up and building up in me, and I need to get this stuff out. Yep. And so I want to move, but then I'm like, but your will be done. And then when I say that, I'm like, okay, I need to slow my roll, because I don't feel like I'm being told to move. I'm being told to be patient. So it's that constant, well, why are you pouring so much into me right now when you don't want me to move?
Oh, you keep sending me all this stuff and I can't do nothing with it right now.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'm super grateful. So funny thing. So I think I may have told you how some woman hit me up at some point last week. She runs a charity organization called Faith Through the Fire, and it's about surviving helping people that are going through cancer and surviving cancer, because she's a cancer survivor. And her and her best friend do this podcast, and she hit me up and she was like, let's have a conversation. Maybe we can collaborate. So I checked out her stuff and I was like, yeah, no, that's dope. Let's collaborate. So I'm recording an episode with her tomorrow for the Daily Perspective. Then that was completely out of the blue. And then today I was just chilling, and I was thinking back over some of the stuff me and my wife had watched. And I think I told you we love watching things like Ready to Love, which is on the OWN network. So one of the guys on there, I thought this dude had the most integrity of people that was on there. And he got done. Dude got done dirty. It was the lady that he was checking for. Man, she did him dirty. So let me put this out here before I finish off my story. Actually, no, let me finish the story and I'll come back. So basically, I just reached out to him on Twitter and said, hey, I watched Ready to Love. I thought I was really touched and moved by your integrity while you were on the show. I would love to it's not a show that people get to see in the UK, but I would love for you to come on my podcast and introduce you to my audience. And he responded back, we're talking, we're going to see if we can set that up. We're going to try and figure out a date to do it. And it's just like God is opening the opportunities. I can see them coming. The opportunities are happening. The things are coming. So yeah, the patience, was when I get those little gems, I'm like, okay, Lord, I get it. You're doing something. I'm gonna fall back and be patient, because clearly you were making things happen in a way that I could never have anticipated them to happen. And it's all going to make sense when the time is right. When the time is right, it will all pay off. So so those are the kind of encouraging moments I get. But then I get the other moments where I got, like I said, myself and my wife want to start the couples coaching. So I've got tons of ideas about that. Let's not even talk about VFit and how VFit fits into that. Then we're
Yeah.
working on another project that may be for later in this year, 2021. I don't know, but we're just in experimenting phase and coming up with some of some of the stuff we're looking at. Then I've got another project that I'm supposed to be working on. So I'm just like, and then obviously I've got my consulting work. So I'm just like, here, here, here. And then I'm trying to change. And to then top it off, I'm back in that mental space where my consulting work that I'm doing today, I'm back at that point where it's grating on me because it's still not the shape that it needs to be. It's still very corporate, and I don't want it to be corporate. So I need to start thinking about when I start to try and transition it into a more creative consulting space. Um, so I've got that battle going on mentally because clearly my consulting work is what pays the bills. Here we go, back with this battle. But I'm ready to trust. I am ready to trust. I'm just trying to figure out the right time because of all other circumstances and things that are going on. The timing has to be right. I can't do anything until certain things have happened and all, everything falls into place. So that makes that internal struggle even more because I feel like, God, I'm ready to go. You've put the battery in my back and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out the gates. But there's still, I've got the Philistines over there. I've got the other Tynes over there because I've got the Amorites over there, Amalekites over there. I'm like, God, I've got these people, I've got these nations that I've got to take down before I can move forward. I've got these nations standing in my promised land. And until I move them out of the way, or until, not me actually, until you move them out of the way, until they are moved out of the way by the authority of the Lord, I cannot move or do anything in the promised land. So what's the timetable, Lord?
So look, this came to me while you were talking, and this applied to me too. So I'm really talking to myself as I talk to you. But it reminded me of something that when I was supervising, other therapists that were trying to get their license, one thing, issue that one of my supervisees had was, I said, in community mental health, you have a large caseload, and you usually have a quota about how many contacts you have to make per month. And she was like, well, I'm getting written up because I'm not seeing all my people. But what she was doing was giving everybody equal time. And I was like, everybody doesn't need your best counselor. You know what I'm saying? Some people just need for you to check in. So then I had to set up her caseload on like low, medium, or high risk. So like, okay, what's your low kind of check-in people that you check in with twice a week or once a month?
Yeah.
Group them. What are people you need to see like, every 2 weeks? And then your high will be what are people that you need to see at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. Those are the people that's your main priority. The other people, they are priorities, but they're not as a priority as those high things. And so that's the same thing, like what all you talked about. Everything you just talked about is not a high priority. But in our heads, we make everything the same priority.
I know.
So So like putting it, like I said, I'm talking to myself too. So it's putting it on paper with like, okay, what are the high priorities, and not this is of things you want to do, but what are the things that are high priority that will lead to the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And so some of them are gateway things. So once you do those, they can lead to the other things, but you got to do them first in order to get there. And I think that's what happens when you have a personality or a mindset that always is thinking about new things and innovating and all that kind of stuff. It's almost the thing that you hate to do the most. It's like the plan, even though you need to. It's not the thing that excites you. It's not the thing that like gets you hyped up. Like, let me sit down and plan. Like, I don't know, I want to do that. Like, oh, I got this. Ooh, this new. Let me do this. Let me do that. And so our mind will pull us that way. It's like, oh, well, you get to, I mean, it's going to fall in line. You just do this, and you got this opportunity over here, and this. Mm-hmm. But it's like, well, what would that lead to? You know, because even if it is a good opportunity, it might not be the best opportunity for right now. So just like for one opportunity that I was working on with one of the universities up here in Nashville, I knew it wasn't the thing for me to do, but financially it would have got me what I thought I needed to do everything else. I'm like, I can do that. I know I ain't gonna like it, but that'll at least get me financially comfortable. Yeah. But I would have hated doing it, and I wouldn't have enjoyed it, and I would have been in a situation where they didn't really value what I brought to the table. I would just be fitting need and not really showcasing what I could do to help. So that's something that's always a balance, because our creativity and innovation can be our like Achilles heel. It's something that sometimes we'll lean too heavy into it. It's like, I'm a creator, I create. So you won't let me create. Let me be great. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why you put all these boundaries around me? Why you restricting me so much? You know what I'm saying? I just want to be, able to do what I want to do. But sometimes that's not the best thing for us either. Like sometimes
for real.
Us not having free reign like we would want to, even though in our mind, like I know in my head, I was like, man, if I ain't had to worry about no bills and all that kind of stuff, I just do it everything I want to do. And I was like, no, I wouldn't. And it's a lot of stuff that I could have done. And if I'm really honest with myself, I wasn't committed to it like I needed to. And I let things take priority over that. Yeah. So some of it is like my own doing of, man, I just didn't spend enough time, or I didn't fully commit to it. As I said it, I committed to the fantasy of it. It's like in my head, I completed it. And it's like, I just keep reliving that. And sometimes that could be the thing that stops us from doing the thing we want to do, because it's almost like we know it's safe in our head, but once we start going forward and putting it on paper and implement stuff, we can't control that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the thing that scares us the most. So like, we'll rather have something in our head be the greatest thing, and like, oh man, this is gonna be the greatest thing when it come out, when I get through with it and stuff, but we're afraid to get finished with it because it's been something that we've been tied to for a long time. And it's like how I am with the book. I've been working on the book for years, but part of that fear is like, what am I gonna do after I finish it? It's like, what then?
Now you see, the funny thing there is, and I know this is one of the reasons why God put the two of us together, because you're thinking about what you're going to do after the book. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, and you're thinking about it from, oh my gosh, what am I going to do after the book? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, I know what Terrence needs to be doing after the book.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm like, I'm waiting for you to finish the book, because I'm like, Cool. Boom. We trying to get on Oprah's
Yeah,
Oprah's
you said
book
that.
club.
You said that. I received it.
Bruh, I'm dead serious about this. We're trying to get on Oprah's book club. We're trying to get this out to everybody that's got a book club, especially if we. So the thing I love, and it's why I gravitated to the consulting work that I do. I love meeting people. I love putting things in the hands of people. And that's the same with you. I love connecting with people and helping them find things that they never knew they needed.
Yep.
And it's not even from a sales kind of way. For me,
Right.
the passion and the excitement about the book is that, hey, when this is done, the amount of people that this is going to help unlock their paths, it's going to be crazy. So why don't I want to scream this from the rooftops? I want people to get access to this because you are going to set so many people free. But in the same breath, when you put it out there and you start to set people free, you actually set yourself free. Because right now you're caged up. Because, and the thing is, you're the one that's got the key to the padlock.
Yeah.
But you're not putting the key in that padlock. You're not turning the key.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put it out there, you unlock that padlock, and you're going to suddenly see that the landscape is going to change for you.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the exciting part, because I know that once you put it out there and people start to read it, and people start to get an understanding of what life excavation is about and what you're trying to do for people, oh, your phone's going to be ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Just make sure you book out my time for the podcast.
See, because so like with you saying that, like I said, I think for me it was one. So I think everything that did happen had to happen. So a lot of what the book is me, and so if I did it in any other way, I think it would have been easier. But it's like I'm writing about what I'm living. And then as I'm editing it or rereading it, I'm re-experiencing stuff as I go along. So emotionally, it's a whole lot because it's really my whole journey to get where I am now. But also it kind of talks about what happens next. But it's really getting me, and this is what I wanted to be sure of. I didn't want it to be a book. Well, if I wanted to just be a book, I could have had it done a long time ago. But I didn't want to just be something that people read. I wanted people to see themselves in it. But also it would be customizable to their experience. So, if you're a person that overthinks a whole lot, I don't want to talk about overthinking. I want you to feel like I'm communicating the way that you would. Like, did that feel like you? Is that your thoughts? Is that kind of like what you said the other week when we were talking about like our strengths, and you like, I got the ability to kind of step into people's experience and kind of tell them what was going on with them. That's kind of how I wanted the book to be. But it's like, as I get closer and closer, those things manifest more and more in me. So it's like I gotta battle my own stuff.
Yeah, you're still working stuff out.
that I'm writing about. And so that could be frustrating at times, but it's the other part is I work ahead of myself. So when I think I'm behind, I'm actually not that far behind. I'm really probably ahead, but I work in like chunks. And so a lot of stuff that I'll do, it might not be for the time, it might be for later. So a lot of stuff I wrote last year, it pertained to like now, on my life now. Right. And so like I write and then catch up with myself. It's almost like I write in future tense. But I think that's what makes it, and it's a part of the book where I talk about that very thing you were talking about. Is I feel like it was something that's going to help a lot of people, but it was me that was in my own way, and I'm sorry for the wait. Like I apologize for making y'all wait so long, but I had to deal with me. But
Yeah.
that's the thing that I really felt, that was the why for me to quit my job, because I really felt that. But like that scripture that I read, that patient endurance, the journey in those transitions chips away at that passion. And so that's kind of where I am now. At the beginning, I was like, whatever I got to do, I'm going to get to a place where I'm going to focus on the book, and that's going to be it. And then once I started getting to that place, I was like, I just want to lay down. I'm so tired and exhausted. And you know what I'm saying? And so it's the endurance part now that I have to build back up, because it's so much energy to make the transition, but you also have to have energy to maintain the patient endurance too. And that's what I'm trying to recharge on, because everything in me like, yes, go, write it, do it, sit down, blah, blah. And my body like, no, sleep, lay down. I know I don't even have words for you to even think about right now. And so that's the balance. It's like I see it, but it's like where I am from a physical standpoint or emotional standpoint, and where I am from a vision standpoint or a purpose standpoint, they're not in sync right now. And that's the struggle. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get it. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. It's weird. I think I'm in my study phase, and I get into these phases where I just want to absorb information.
Yep.
The only thing I want to do is absorb information on whatever topic. I don't feel motivated. So, and this is going to sound contradictory to what I said before, but in a weird way, hopefully it will make sense. But although I know I'm full of ideas and stuff that I want to push go on, the more the ideas come, the more I want to learn. So I want to absorb information about certain things. So when we decided we wanted to do the couples coaching, I became obsessed with knowing everything about coaching and therapy, and that's why I remember. You remember when I was talking to you about all the questions. So what if I do this and what if I do that? Because I just want to absorb and know everything, and then I guess it's weird. I realized that actually the skill sets that I need I've already got, and then it starts to. I'm like, oh, okay. Then that's when I hit the whole. Okay, I just want to go then. But at the moment, I'm at that phase where, so I think it was yesterday, I didn't want to do anything. I literally did not want to do anything. All I wanted to do was sit down with a book and read, or sit down with my Bible and read, because I felt something was, and it was probably more the latter than the former. I needed that time in the Word because something was amiss. It's not like I don't spend time in the Bible, but I just wanted to enjoy the Bible and be fed. And it's weird. It's a difference between when we're prepping and when I'm just reading and just being fed. And both provide me with content, both provide me with topics and all of that stuff. Like, so I'm not sure if you saw what I put in for the topic today. I went and read the whole story about Samson.
Yeah, I saw what you added.
Yeah, and that led me to why dudes can't turn down the booty. That's what that was a topic for me, because that's what got Samson whooped.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to say no. But it kind of fits in with the whole gifting thing, because we'll talk about that when we do that episode. But it's, for me, the whole thing, whenever I read the Bible, it starts to just trigger all sorts of things, and I try and relate it to real life. That, for me, that's a real topic, that's real life. And I think that's what I've been needing, that, hey, you're getting so wrapped up in trying to create this and create that and create this, you're not feeding yourself with what gives you your creative inspiration in the first place. Um, so absorb information, take it all in, slow down. I got you. I know I've already put the landmarks out there. I've already put the exit points for you. Just stay on the highway right now. I'll let you know when your exit is coming up, and you can take the exit and do what you need to do. Then you get back on the highway. So it's so funny enough, the same thing that you know what you're saying about not wanting to let go of something sometimes. I get it, because that's me. When it's been your project, when it's been your baby for so long, you're like, what? When I put this out there, one, I don't want people to abuse it. I want people to receive it well.
Right.
And two, it's like, well, now I got to watch my baby grow and flourish, and am I ready for that? And that can be scary. And that's what's happening with the Daily Perspective Network for me. That now that I've kind of like, I'm putting it more and more and more and more out there, I'm starting to see that, hey, people from places that I didn't even know about are picking up on what we're doing, and they're listening to Daily Perspective, they're listening to Imperfectly Human, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know we were getting listeners from these places. And now I'm all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I ready for people to hear? Do I sound polished? Is the post production right? Is the pre production right? And oh no, we got to rein it back in, because it's not quite right. I start to get kind of, that.
Yeah.
No, give me back my baby. So I get it. But I think that is something that we have to learn to deal with. It's one of the reasons. Also, our overworking on stuff is part of the reasons why sometimes we feel so tired.
Yep.
Because we're just going over and over and over and over and over. Whereas sometimes, hey, even God rested, man.
Thanks.
So I'm like,
Thanks.
At some point we've got to take a break. And I think my inability to fall asleep yesterday was because sometimes I just don't mentally shut down. I just keep thinking about stuff. I keep playing stuff over. If it's not about the ideas and what I want to do in the future, and I'm thinking about my children's futures, because I'm raising entrepreneurs. So when they start coming to me with their ideas, my mind goes, boom, okay, so we could do this with that, and we could do this, and you could do, and I'm like, whoa, slow down. She's 15. She's still she can't even start a business legally. She's still feeling it out and fleshing it out and shaping her ideas. So let her do that. Stop trying to, and then I get scared that I don't want to take over her ideas and then make her fall out of love with her passion, because I've taken over her passion and tried to push her into something where it wasn't supposed to go. So I'm trying to learn to pull myself back, because I go too fast, just off out the gate.
Yeah. So a lot of what you said, man, I wish I was writing. Usually when we in regular episode mode, I'm writing and stuff, and I wish I would have wrote a couple of things down, because some point that you had made that I wanted to kind of reiterate, but I probably missed some of them. But the point is, you talked about kind of giving your baby back up, or like once it's out there, you don't have control over it. that's kind of what happened with us, with what we're doing with our progress. Then we started just doing one live a week. Then it started to be two. Then we started changing production. We started to do different topics. We started like roll out different stuff. And so from one standpoint, the people that were really resonating with it, and the same just like what you were saying, it was people that were listening and watching that we didn't know of. You know, when we do it live, we only see a small fraction of it, but it was just so many people like, oh, I catch y'all, or I listen to it, oh, y'all be talking good and all that kind of stuff. But I think the other part of it, just like that scripture, that patient endurance has to do with you being patient in the work too, because you can be so future focused in doing the work that you don't enjoy doing it in the moment. And that's kind of where it was going toward the end of the year. It was like, I just wasn't looking forward to doing the live. Not that once we started, like it take a life on its own once you get started. But before it was like, I just don't, like I wake up like I just don't want to do this today. And it was just because of the routine. Like, okay, Monday, Thursday, 12 o'clock, record. Then like we had got a schedule, like, oh, Tuesday, midday, record. So I'm just like waking up, okay, prep, what, record. And then sometimes it just got to a point like, I don't even want to prep no more. It's like, I'm just whatever happened, Lord, you give me something. I don't know. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So, but I think and I guess that's part of that fear of giving it up, is like the fear of it consuming you once it's out to the public. And I think it's more of not that what we would do will fail, is we already have a good kind of inclination that it will be beneficial to people. People resonate with it. Sometimes I fear is people will connect to it too much, and then I'll be able to handle all of that avalanche of what can come. And I know for me, that's my fear, because I just came out of a season of my life with a lot of, like, you know, a lot of stuff that I'm recovering from, like people pleasing, but workaholic is another one.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I don't, I have to really maintain some kind of boundary around myself, because I know me. Once I lock in, it's
That's
over.
it.
And I don't care how long I gotta stay up. I don't. And so that's why when people like, why don't you put your stuff out there? Why don't you? I was like, yeah, I know me. I gotta have some kind of parameters, or I have to have so. And I think that's why I can get into overthinking, just like what you were saying. Mine will go to plan for the next, like, outlets. So if something get bigger, it's like, okay, what's the little outlet that can kind of ease that off, ease that, so it won't build up. Just like just like with the excavation, because I had sent you kind of like what I was working on, and I sent it to like Kendrick and some other folks, and I was just getting real anxious because I was like, oh, I don't want to see a whole lot of people every week, because I know what that would do for me. And so then we kind of transition. So that's why I've been changing that video to focus on the life lab instead of booking the one-on-one. I can get more people in life labs that will, benefit me for a time, but my own well-being. Because I know me, if they book it, I'm coming with all my energy to them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna halfway nothing. And so that, I'm either all in or I'm not. And so whatever I'm committed to, I'm all in. And sometimes that could be to my detriment. Well, not sometimes, a lot of times it's to my detriment.
No, I feel you.
So it's just, you gotta, so I mean, we talk about boundaries with people, but we have to know our own boundaries with ourselves and our own like defaults that will pull us back out of alignment. And I know I have to be very careful with that. And And like I said, just like you were saying with sleep, it's certain signals that you getting down a path that you need to slow down. It's like one, sleep, two, like your eating habits, and three, like exercise. But for me, and the other thing, and people like, it's not even nothing that big. Breathing correctly is
Mm.
the biggest thing that you can do. Like if you can do nothing else, if you learn to breathe at a very controlled state throughout your day, that will keep you calm in certain situations, even if they're, there might be heightened or might be a crisis situation. If you can control your breathing, and not from like a, meditative, like relaxing, and like not that, but you'd be surprised if you just really, really was aware of how you breathe during the day. We do a lot of shallow breathing all throughout our day. And that keeps us tense, that keeps us anxious, but that tires us out too. And that's
Right.
how you can have, because a lot of times we breathe, but we don't do full breath. And like your body, when you do a full breath, it kind of like clears you out. It kind of helps you center too. So a lot of times that's why we can, get sick too, because we're not really fully breathing.
Yeah.
And not saying like, in these corona times, not, I'm talking about inside when not out here in front of the people now. Don't do that. Don't be spreading COVID to folks. I'm talking about at your house, with the people that you've been in and
Don't go
around.
outside and get yourself whooped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't do that. Don't do that out in the public like that. Don't do that. But that's one thing. So that's a constant reminder I had to give myself is like breathe. Like breathe. And you would think that like, what you mean we breathe all the time? Like, yeah, but no, we don't breathe like we need to.
No, I don't think we're conscious about how we breathe. And it's funny, the stuff that you said, you just when you were saying it, I was like, that's me. That's me. That's me. It's because like, okay, so my sleep is messed up.
Yeah.
My eating messed up. So I got into really good habits of not eating beyond. So one, I started playing with intermittent fasting because I thought that I found it really helpful.
Yeah.
Having exercising that self-control of not just eating whenever I felt like eating, but actually eating because kind of eating for nourishment rather than
Yeah.
just eating for the sake of eating. So, but whilst I was doing that, I got into good habits of having breakfast, having lunch, having dinner. Of late, I'm back to old habits of no breakfast, lunch occasionally,
Mm-hmm.
and then just dinner. So some days it's 2 meals, some days it's one. And I can hear my wife go, she like, have you eaten? I'll get something. I'll get something later. She's like, okay. If I don't say nothing to me, and I'm like, my bad. But I can see myself falling back into bad habits because
Yep.
things are falling out of alignment because
Yep.
I'm allowing stress and other things to come into play. So my exercise routine, which was religious, that was the one thing I was religious about. I got up on time, I hit the gym, I worked out, and then got on with my day. I've gone from 5 to 6 times a week to once a week, if that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something is
Yeah.
out of alignment. And I need to, me and my wife have been sitting down and talking and saying, hey, what's going on? Why are we so out of alignment of what we've lost our center for some reason? How do we get it back so that we're back focused on, you know, keeping that core. Because for us, again, bringing it back to V Fit, although it's sitting there waiting to happen, there are core principles to V Fit. There's the there's your nutrition, what you take in. There is your body mechanics and your fitness. So how you move your body and what you do to keep your flexibility, to keep. I'm not about, look, if people want to get or turn into Arnie and do all of that, that's cool. That's their thing.
Yeah.
I believe your body has a natural center, and it's about working towards your body's natural center. Some of you are not built with the frame to carry that much mass. I certainly am not. And hey, my ideal center is what, probably, what's that? Maybe about 136, 137 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot. I fall into that bantamweight boxing category. I'm a super lightweight.
Yeah,
So,
you got you got the quick hand. They got the quick hand.
I'll say to my friend, man, I'll go 3 minutes with Iron Mike if that check good.
I don't know about that, because Mike you be permanently brain damaged. I don't know about that one now. If it was somebody, but Mike, man. I don't know.
Nah, for real, that would be a straight. Nah, I'm good. But your body's got a natural set, and then the third then you've got the spiritual component. What are you doing with that component? Because if that's out of alignment, everything else is out of alignment. Mm-hmm. Then, one of the things that we started, and I'm kind of talking about one of the projects we're working on, we also have to consider what we apply to our body. Because, hey, we're using these products that they create and all of these things, and these things natural, or these things, these things are synthetic. What do they do to our bodies? How do they keep us, how do they keep us, what's the word I'm looking for? What toxins are they putting into our bodies, which then mess up our balance? Or as the ninjas will say, they mess up your chakra. So I'm like, I love me my ninjutsu. but yeah, so you kind of you start to throw your body off.
Yeah.
So that's what V-Fit is about. And for me, everything that our core principles, we're noticing that, hey, something is throwing us off. So now we're slowly trying to readjust and realign, because if I'm off and she's off, then the kids are going to be off.
Yep. Man, so this is my area, like self-care, exercise, all that kind of. This is my area, and this is the area that I would really work with people on a whole lot. But I know what it did for me, like what it done for me to kind of keep me balanced. So just like you were talking about exercise and all that. So usually I try and exercise in the morning. I might do something, like, for me, it's always good for me to find new things to do. Because after a while you get into a routine and it makes you not want to do it and be excited about it. So I had just started doing, I don't know if you heard of like the 5 Tibetan rites or something like that.
I heard of it.
So I started doing them like a week or so ago, and it's supposed to like help you kind of frame and set your day, in which it does. Like, it's not like strenuous exercise, but when you finish, you're like, oh man, I feel that. Yeah. That's something, and then I try and go rucking. And so I've been doing rucking for about a year or something. I started with like 25 pounds, I think. Now I got like 45 pounds in my book bag. And so, I mean, it's, some people do the Go Ruck. Like, Go Ruck is the company that does the rucking events and stuff around the world. but their stuff is so high priced. And so like I literally found like a rucksack on Amazon for about like 20 some dollars. And instead of getting the plates, you can just buy bricks from like Lowe's or Home Depot and wrap them in duct tape and then put towels around them so it doesn't move. And that's what I use. So my whole rucking system costs about like 40 some dollars.
Yeah.
But that helps with my back. And like I said, me and you, we both talked about like scoliosis and all that, but it helps with your posture because that rucksack kind of pulls your back.
It straightens you back out.
So my back, I don't have pretty much any problems with my back now since I do it, because I do about at least 3 to 4 miles rucking. And so you feel it like all in here when you're done. But for people that don't like running, because I used to run, but then it started hurting my knees.
My knees are sharp.
Yeah. So if you don't want to run, rucking will kind of give you that replacement, but it's a more full body thing. But it will strengthen your back too. So that's something too. But what I realized when I feel like I'm out of balance, it's something that I'm not doing for myself, or I'm not investing in myself as much. Because the time that I was most productive is when I spent the most money on taking care of myself. And that was like going to the chiropractor regularly, doing my float therapy. Then the float therapy place had a massage therapy. So I would do the float and get a massage. It's like they putting you on a cloud and you just floating you on out the door. It's just like you just be so relaxed after that. And then I would still do my workout and then my supplements. So I would do, I don't know if you take like ashwagandha or anything like that, but that's a natural, like, stress reliever. I do. So it's like,
I'm gonna keep it quiet. This is stuff I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, all right. So like all that in that phase that I was doing all this stuff, like black seed oil, like all this stuff I took. So it's like I was real big on like health and wellness and natural things, because I think we can manage most of the day-to-day things or life circumstances we have. But it's when we go too far into just like, well, give me a pill for that, and let me do this, let me, and we don't put effort into it. I think that's why people don't get the results they looking for, because people want something quick. And a lot of things that's better for you, it takes an investment and time.
For sure.
Before you see some result. So, but it, that's one thing I had to do too, is I had to take an inventory when I get to those spaces, like, what did I forget to do? Because just like what you were saying, it's always in something that we used to do to keep ourselves balanced that we stop.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same for you, but like for me, when I miss doing something, like, so just say like working out 5 days a week and I miss a day or two, now I'm like, man, I don't even want to stay. It's like everything gone. Like I'm not doing
everything.
Everything
goes out the window. Everything.
Everything. And so that I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. So that's what kind of happened with the book right before like Thanksgiving, because I was doing my daily 1,500 words.
Yeah, you were
1,500 words, and then I went home for Thanksgiving, and that threw my routine out the window. And it was like I couldn't get back into it when I got back up here, and I was like, and so that like totally like took my motivation. And it's like now I gotta figure out how to like regain it, because that's really like that was the last time I was like locked in with the book. And after Thanksgiving, it was like, man,
So I'm laughing because this is what, whenever I talk to you, T, I'm like, this is like looking in a mirror, man. People don't get it when I say it.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit and routine. I said it to someone that the reason I don't drink every day, even if it's just a, just a beer or whatever, I don't drink every day because whatever I do, I turn it into a habit and routine.
Yep.
I have an addictive personality. So I get hooked on patterns. It's why my brain works logically. Everything to me has sequence in it. So if I break, if I start a sequence, I either keep it. If I break the sequence and it's broken because, and I don't want to touch it because it's no longer, it doesn't look right or feel right anymore. So I don't want it anymore. It's just like, it's broken. I don't want it. I don't want it. So if my fitness routine is going and I'm training in my intervals, as long as that nothing disrupts that, it remains. As soon as something throws it off, my rhythm is gone and I struggle to get back on my rhythm. And that applies to everything that I do. I'm just this, I have, and this I always say to my wife, it's like this mild OCD kind of behavior. I'm not. It's not that full on OCD where I got to tap the wall 3 times if I do something. I'm not Dr. Sheldon
Yeah.
Cooper. I'm not. I'm not doing none of that. But there is this. I like things laid out. Like my desk is always laid out the same way, because if I come in and things are not where they're supposed to be, I'm already off center, and then I'm trying to put everything back to where it's supposed to be, and then I can't focus. So things have to be in a certain place. I'm one of those people that I like to. I'll open my bedside drawer and I know exactly where to reach, even if it's dark, to grab a set of headphones, because they are in a particular place and they shall forever be in a particular place. Everything about me is like that. I lay out clothes in my wardrobe in a particular way. Shirts are in a particular section. It's the routine just helps me have the structure that I need. And then that's why I always say to people about when it comes to work, if I plan out my day or I plan out activities, if anything throws that schedule out, then my whole day's messed up, because I'm then scrambling to try and fit back into the routine. So I'm one of these people that just, if I have a routine, I have to stick to the routine, because if it breaks, all hell breaks loose. And then I can't bring myself back to my center. And then I have to start all over again and set a whole brand new routine. Okay, we're going to reset this and we're going to start again, and we're going to forget all the gains that we've made before, and we're back at zero. Oh, dude, I'll tell you, I'll make you laugh. So I always wake up and read my Bible first thing in the morning. And one of the things I love about the Bible app is looking at the streak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm looking at my streak and I'm like, oh, my numbers is going up. And we had to do something, and I had to do it early in the morning. So it broke my routine and I forgot to read my Bible at the time that I normally read my Bible. And then I read my Bible the following day at normal time. And the first thing I saw as soon as I opened the app was that I was back down to one day. And dude, it hurt me. My heart sunk. I was like, I don't even want to read my Bible today.
I don't even want to go outside and play today.
Dude, I know myself. I have to, routine is so important to me. But then for some people, routine, they don't like routine whatsoever. But I
Yeah.
can't function without structure.
Yeah. So so when I got my iPhone, when I switched from Android to iPhone, I got an Apple Watch too. And so the activity me.
Yeah.
So I said it, and so I started to do it. And then once you start reaching your benchmarks, then it increased like the calories. It's like, okay, your goal this week is this many calories and this much.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. So that's kind of how I break up like what I do during the day. In the morning, I do like an hour workout just to get my exercise checked off. And then that give me my midway with my calories. Now my steps gonna be way off because usually I don't do a whole lot of walking around with my morning exercise. But that's when I go ruck. When I go rucking, I get my 10,000 steps that I need.
Yeah.
And then like the stand goal, I get that throughout the day. So by 7, 8 o'clock, I got that. So when they get that ding and all the circles going, like, yeah, I did it. So I've been on the street for about 45 days where I hit all of them. And so there's like me, that's while we were talking, that's why I was thinking, I'm like, okay, cool. All right, how many steps I got? How many like, okay, what time we probably gonna get through? All right, I got a couple hours to do this and something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's how, but when you were talking about, finding the rhythm, so I used to be a very, very structured routine person, almost to the point where it was like obsessive. And that was because the line of work that I did when I was doing therapy in the schools. I would have so many meetings and all that. I would lit. That's when I had the BlackBerry back then.
Oh, I had the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry.
You look. When you had a BlackBerry, you was important. Now you had some things to do. Now you were doing some real work. You had a real job.
Yeah.
So I had literally like from like 30-minute intervals booked out on my phone every day. Like I knew what my meetings were, like my lunch and stuff, like just do like that. And over the years, I kind of learned to build out blocks of things, but not necessarily a set routine. And part of that time that I was talking about when I was taking care of myself, it was me moving away from a real structured routine. It was things that I did, but I didn't set the time that I did them. So sometimes I would go rucking in the morning. Sometimes I would do it in the evening. Sometimes I might do, floats in the morning. Sometimes I do them in the evening. Sometimes, it's like they were interchangeable. So if it didn't happen right then, I didn't have to freak out about it. And I went through a period of trying new things. I know for me learning new things or experiencing new things or and connecting to new people, those are things that feed me. And when I don't have opportunity to do that, then I feel like real restricted, because just like me and you have a conversation and it made me think about something like, oh, okay, cool, that apply to this. In the same way, just like on Shaper, where we met at, I was meeting a lot of people on Shaper, and it might not have been long-term like networking connections, but I was learning stuff from people that I was applying to the business, applying to what I was doing. And that mechanism I don't have right now. And that's one thing that's been bothering me. And it added to that pandemic and COVID. And then I can't travel like I want to. And that's the one thing I really was planning on doing. And I think that's the most devastating thing for me right now, is because I want to go travel. I want to go do more like nature type stuff and go to a state park and do all this kind of traveling. And I can't right now. And that's something that I'm that's something I have to deal with like every day is, man, I want to go and do stuff, but I can't do it. I don't know when I'm able to do it. You know, international travel was something that I was already planning on doing. And then I don't know when that's gonna happen either.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, and I think that's part of it. But one thing I wrote down when you were talking about, having things in the same way that you left them is a control thing. And I do it for me too. And when I want things to be the same way or whatever like that, that's me wanting to have a certain level of control about my environment.
Yeah.
And but the longer we live, the less the more we realize how less how we're not in control of pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the things in our immediate environment we try to control so much, because everything else in life seems like it's so far out the way. Like I can't control nothing else. So if I can control what my this look like, what this look like, all that, then it makes me feel better. But it's still things that happen that throw that all out of the way. Just like for me today, I had planned on working out and reading my Bible and stuff, and I looked at my calendar like, what? Like, that's not right. Who messed up? Let me go see. And then they just sent my whole morning in a totally different direction. And then it was like, okay, cool. Now what I need to do the second half of the day to settle myself back down. That happened, whatever, it's gonna get rectified. I'm gonna take care of that. But I can't allow, and this is one thing I was telling myself earlier today, like even though it's something that, wasn't my fault, it's gonna get rectified. Yeah, I'm upset about it. I can't allow it to then derail my whole day. Like I can't let it just demolish my whole day because it wasn't something that, one, I wasn't expecting, but two, I didn't really have control over. So things I controlled, I did. Like I went and checked on it, went rectified, went and talked about it, kind of know a time frame when they get back rectified. So I think that's something too, is when things do happen, finding a way of putting parameters in place that will get you back on the path to getting where you need to get to, and not just letting it consume you, because that's the one thing that would take us off path if we already stressed and we already tired, and then somebody cut in front of us one day, or somebody, or we get sent something in the mail and say like, "Oh, you owe us something," and you're like, not today, not today. You're not gonna get not today.
Now the crazy thing. So when I was younger, I was probably, well, my brother will testify to this.
Yeah.
I was messy. I was messy. There was no structure or organization to anything.
Mm-hmm.
I came in, I took it off my back, I threw it on the floor or threw it on the bed, and I went about my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I was messy. I don't know where it changed. I think it changed. It changed in my teens, my late teens. Once I got to about 16, 17, that's when I became very control freaky with certain things and wanting things in a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
If I probably look back, maybe there was a significant event that happened at that point
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was probably when it changed. But it was, y'all, we're gonna talk about that offline. But yeah, because I'm thinking about certain things that happened around that time. Actually, I might be able to put my finger on what changed around that time. It's funny what triggers what.
Yeah.
But Oh, I lightened the tone. So I promised I was going to come back to this.
Yeah.
What? So I said the guy from Ready to Love, me and him are going to have that conversation. But what blew me away, what always blows me away when I watch a lot of these American shows versus UK, especially the ones around dating, is just the concept of dating is different. So for me, it's like if I went to a girl and said, yo, you know, I like you, you like me, let's go on a date.
Check yes or no.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's kind of like we've always been on this immediate exclusivity kind of thing. Yeah. We're exclusive immediately. I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm not even telling anyone else I'm interested in them. Whereas in America, you got stages. You dating, then
no, you ain't even dating. You talking.
Okay. You talking.
You talking first, and then
you dating.
It may or may not lead to dating, but you just talking to see what is.
Then you exclusive.
Yeah.
So when you get to this dating phase, you go. I'm like, oh, I'm dating like 4 or 5 people. I'm like, say what? Say what now?
I ain't built for all that.
So I was hella confused when people were like, yeah, I'm dating 4 or 5. I'm like, that's too much work. That's too much work. You're doing too much.
It's too much. It's too much. And that's dating in this day and age is like. And like, yeah, why don't you dating? Not I was like, man, y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. It, like I said, it's different. And like I said, it was funny because one of like me and my fraternity brother, so we did like a group call last night or the night before? I think it was Sunday night, I think. So we usually try and do it like once a year or something like that, just check in. And that's what all them they were saying, like, yeah, like, man, they realized most of them got married to their wives. Like, they were dating their wives in college. And so not too long after college, they got married. And so it's like, and that's a Southern thing too. In the South, it's more promoted for people to get married. Pretty much that's what it's like. And it's kind of been generational, is, you know, women went to college to find a husband. And by the time they graduated, was for them to be married and have kids. Like, that's a real Southern thing. Up north, people get married a lot later. So like I said, but give or take now, it's kind of changing. So up north, it wouldn't be such a big deal. Like my age, it wouldn't be so out the norm for people not to be married. But in the South, it's pretty much like you 20 something, like you should be married and have kids, not just one, multiple. Yeah, multiple of them. But it's so now I think just a lot of the one-on-one communication is not it. Pretty much most of it starts online. And if you're not a social media person, I'm not a social media person. Like, I'm not on the gram like that. I'm not on Facebook like that. I'm not. So it is like, that's what you do. Like I said, people don't really meet. And, you know, just like how they say IRL in real life, like they'll meet in real life. Like, yeah. So it's like your first initial connection with somebody is online. Yeah. And that, if you just don't like it, you know, like the social media part or doing a profile and the picture, like,
no, for real.
Know, for the grand, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, my wife, she put me on the spot because she said, look, if you were single at this age, how would you meet people? And I was like, she was like, oh, she goes, yeah, I would use a dating app, or I'd do some speed dating or whatever. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. So she was like, well, how are you gonna meet people? Because she was like, the way we met, that's not how it happens anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to take a step back and think, and I was like, no, she's right. It's the game has changed. I was
Yeah,
like, the
yeah,
game has changed. I don't understand how all of this, you know, oh, you swipe right or you swipe left. And I'm like, I don't know how to do all of that. I like
yeah,
to talk to people.
yeah. I mean, but right when you're saying that, it made me go back. So like, my ex-girlfriend, we kind of saw each other in public, and we kind of knew each other because we went to the same college, but we didn't really know each other in college. But it was just a chance encounter where I was eating with my family, and like I saw her, but I know how like my folks are. So if I would went over there, they were like, teacher, who is that? You know who that is? I'm like, I ain't gonna do all that today. I like, no, we're not gonna do that today. So like I saw so like she saw me, I saw her, but it was like we ain't say nothing to each other. And so then I got a DM on Facebook. And she was like, hey, didn't I see you?
Ooh, she
The
slid
other
into
day.
your DMs.
Yeah. And so I was like, that on me. I'm like, I didn't want to speak because I saw you with your folks, I with my folks, blah, 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 blah. And so that's kind of how we kind of made that first initial connection. And so like I said, it just happened. So like social media, even if you see people in real life, sometimes it's like the first point to meeting in real life. But now you got the pandemic involved in it too, when you got COVID-19, then
Yeah.
it makes it a whole lot. So it's like for me, I know when I get to the point where I do want to start back dating, I know you know, I'll be more prepared. Well, not more prepared. I think right now I'm preparing myself to kind of establish myself. So it's like right now I don't want anything to take time away from me trying to get settled,
Yeah.
because I know me, once I get involved, especially like relationships, I'm all in, and I can kind of slow my progress down because I'm trying to make the relationship work.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always had an issue with. So
I'm the same.
it's like I'm always most productive when I'm not in a relationship. It's like when I'm in a relationship, it slows me down. I'm not saying I can't do both, but like my
No, but
priority is different.
you could be a workaholic when you're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
And ain't no one
Yeah.
gonna have a problem with it because the only person you got to report to is you.
You're right. And you're right. And so I think that's why for me, I always kind of had it planned that I would do a lot of my heavier work kind of like early in my life, and then establish stuff so then I could really enjoy my family
Yeah.
and my wife. And that's kind of always was in my plan. Not saying that it's gonna work like that, but I got a lot of the, all the school and all that kind of stuff out the way. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do that now. And like I said, business stuff, we in the process of all that stuff kind of falling in line. So in the scheme of things, I'm right in the midst of like my plan, but I just know I don't want to work so much while I'm in family mode, because I grew up that way. I grew up with both my parents working
Yeah.
all the time. And I just know how that is, especially with me being the only child. And so like I always said to myself, I never wanted my children to experience that. Not that it was bad, but it just, they were at work. I see them at the mall. Like my parents were both retail managers. So my dad managed Champs and my mom managed like a women's like clothes store.
Yeah.
So I would just go to the mall and like pop in and say like, hey, what's going on? Or like, I mean, I was able to get all the free Jordans and stuff I wanted to. I could literally go up there to Champ and like, hey, I want them. And I could step out my shoes I had and like, okay, let me put these new J's on. Appreciate it. and then walk on back out. So
Man, see, that would have been my weakness. That I'd have seen that means I'd have seen my pop all the time because I ended up working in a sports store because of my shoe addiction.
Yeah, yeah. I worked there too. I worked in Champs too, but that was after my dad wasn't working there anymore. But and like I said, now I don't even wear shoes like that. I don't even invest in spending it. I'm like, I'm not about to spend $200 for no pair of shoes.
You heard?
Not nothing. It better be on clearance.
let me put it this way. That was a time and a season.
Uh-huh.
That time and a season is gone. I'm like, I'm still into my sneakers, but I've changed the ones I go for. So my current collectibles are the Son of Force. So they're a bit like the Air Force Ones, but they're a bit like Dunks. So
okay, yeah.
But they don't break the bank. And then what you can do is you can if you buy the plain ones, you find someone that can customize them for you, then you can get some custom colorways created. I've got about 4 pairs just brand spanking new stashed, just never worn. Just though, but those are for when I wear out the ones that I got now.
Yeah.
I'm at that point where my feet ain't growing no more. So
oh yeah, no.
So I can make my shoes last because they need to last. Because I can't be buying shoes every minute. No, keep it real. I cannot be buying shoes every minute. Those days are long. That was before I had responsibilities. As soon as them responsibilities hit, I was like, nah, I'm sorry. Michael made his money.
Right. And like I said, for me, I don't even too much wear tennis shoes a whole lot.
I was in dress shoes for a lot.
Yeah. Now I was in dress shoes a lot, but now I pretty much wear boots most of the time now. Like
dude, that was my other thing. Tim's.
Yeah.
I was always in Tim's. I had the army fatigue Tim's. I had the original tan Tim's. I had the black Tim's. Then I had the hiking Tim's, and I had like 6 or 7 pairs of Tim's. But what I used to do was whenever I was in Orlando, I'd buy them at the outlets, because at outlets they were like $40, whereas when I get home they're like 100 and something pounds, which would be like say $150, $160. So I'm like $40 versus 100. I'm like, I'm stocking up.
Yeah.
So I just used to stock up, bring them home, and then I had like I think in 2 years when we came out to Orlando, sort of 2 consecutive years, I think I bought about 6 pairs altogether. So 3 on the first trip, 3 on the second trip. And then I was good. I'm still on the last pair right now.
See, I had Tim. Well, it was like when I was still at Champs, I put it was some baby blue Tims.
Oh.
And I had them on layaway and I couldn't get them back out. I don't know what happened why I couldn't get the rest of the money to get them out, but it was some baby blue Tims and they were like suede. I wanted them so bad. So you remember like when everybody wearing like the Echo jerseys and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. It's a place in the Metro Center in Jackson that had like the Echo jersey. So I was gonna get the jersey. I was gonna have my Tims. I had them fit together. I had it together. Man,
you was gonna be looking fresh.
Man, I'm telling you now. I couldn't get my Tims. I wanted them Tims so bad. So bad I wanted them.
That was here. So here it was everyone had the Averex.
Yeah.
Everyone had the Averex and the Tims, and I was like, I had the Tims, but I have no Averex.
Yeah.
But
See,
I went in there and I saw the price of the Averex, and I was like, not today.
see, back here, back in the day, it was like, so they had the throwback jerseys. That when I was working at Champ, that's when all of that, everybody. So, and we used to get commission off the jersey, any clothing. We used to get commission off of. So I used to just post up and buy the jersey. So like, you need a jersey, okay? You finna get, all right? Let me write my number on the. Give me that commission. Give me that commission. But yeah, it was like the throwback jerseys. But we used to wear starter jackets.
Oh yeah.
That's what. So you was on if you had a starter jacket, like, and everybody, a lot of people, like the most popular were like the Miami Hurricane, then like the 49ers.
Yeah,
What else was
I
popular?
remember that.
Yeah, like so I can't remember who I had. I think I had a Bulls because I was a super
I had the Orlando Magic one.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, the Magic was good. But I had went like I was such a Michael Jordan fan. Like I wrote him a letter, like asking him for like autograph basketball and stuff like that. And I was just waiting by the mailbox for like 2 months. I was like, what Michael Jordan? Hey, he sent me my basketball. And then I got a letter like 8 weeks later, like, we thank you for your letter, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, I don't even think he sent something else other than that. I was, man, forget Michael Jordan. He didn't send my basketball, man. I'm a super fan. He didn't send the basketball. So yeah, that was so because it was bad.
Oh man.
It took me back.
Oh man, that's classic. That is classic. No, we was it was the Tims, then it went to Jordan's never really hit out here like they did in the States because you guys have got, I guess because you've got the NBA. We never had, there was only pockets of people that were into the NBA. We've always been, well, people in the UK have always been into what you guys call soccer.
Yeah.
Whereas I've always been into the NFL and the NBA. So I was a Jordan's person. I had my Cowboys jersey, even though I wasn't a Cowboys fan. That made no sense. But I had a Cowboys jersey. I had I still got my baseball caps. I've got just all of them. So I was always into American sports, fashion, culture, all of that stuff. So I was kind of out the norm. So the things that I was into came out of hip hop videos. Oh, they wearing that? Right, I'm gonna go get me that. So that was and ain't no one ever finding these pictures, but there's pictures of me with a do-rag, with an oversized jersey, with the chains, the baggy jeans, and the Tims.
Everybody, yeah, we all did it.
Looking like looking like Soldier Boy.
Oh, look! Did you ever try to do the crisscross and wear the pants backwards?
You know I did.
I did. I know I did it too. I ain't do it too much, but I know I tried about once or twice.
I tried putting the shirt on backwards and
that and cross colors and all that kind of stuff. I remember my dad used to have. You remember Carl Kanai?
Yeah.
Carl Kanai had like a whole like blue jean set. So the jacket and the jean. When I tell you that stuff weigh about 50 pounds, that was the heaviest stuff in life. I was like, man, how you put this on? Like it was like thick.
Yeah.
blue jean material, but he had like the whole car canal outfit. I remember that.
I remember the car canal. I remember the FUBU.
Yeah. I couldn't. FUBU wasn't in my price range. I couldn't.
Nah, FUBU weren't in my price range either.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. For somebody, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, for you, by you.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Yeah, okay. And then when they did the platinum FUBU, that was like the jean was like $150.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened to FUBU because it just disappeared.
Yeah, I think because it was like FUBU, and then I think Sean John came a little bit after that. And everybody started doing Sean John.
And then Rockaware.
Yeah, like Jabos. And I used to wear Jabos, but I had to get them on sale because they were hot too. so whatever I can get on sale, that's what I do. But FUBU
for real.
FUBU didn't go on sale. Like Sean John rarely went on sale, so you really can't get that. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I think because they started something else too, because it was FUBU, then it was something else that they started doing, and then it wasn't as popular as FUBU. But I can't remember what it was, but it was some other company that had, and then I think all of it just kind of went down. But it's not really nothing like that now. Folks wear all kind of stuff now. I don't know what they wear now. I don't know.
Nah, I'm out of touch. Listen, Terrence, you got to go do your walking.
Yeah. How many steps I got? I got like 4,160.
Man, you're doing better than me. I'm on 2,858. Oh
yeah, dog. See, I'm good. See, I'm all right. I got 340 of my 820 calories. Got 4 minutes of 60 minutes of my exercise. And I'm almost to my stand goal. I got 10 hours out of 12. So, once it get dark around here, I just make laps in my apartment. Do that, get my steps. So I got about like an hour worth of laps around the apartment. But sometimes I do the stairs and stuff too, just to give me some extra.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I have not left the house today.
I went out a little bit earlier, but it snowed here.
Oh man, that's what I was gonna say to you. Did it snow? Because it snowed over here, dude. I couldn't move my car for 3 days.
Yeah,
I had to walk to get some groceries. I was walking in the snow, cursing the snow. I was mad as hell. I was trying to bind and rebuke the snow. It wasn't working.
Yeah. See, we don't get that kind of. Well, it hadn't snowed like that up here yet. I think next week we're supposed to get like some inches, but it really just a snow, and it'd be like a light dusting, but it won't be anything that stick. But it's not like that heavy snow.
Nah, my neighbors were out making snowmen and stuff, and I was peeping out the curtains, peeping through the shutters, like, that's your white folk.
See, I like that kind of snow. Like the snow that kind of accumulate. Now I don't like Chicago, like New York blizzard level snow. Like I like to be in areas when it snow just a little bit, then everything shut down. So Tennessee's still one of them places, like in Jackson, we got anything, like school be closed. Like if it snowed before we got to school, it would probably be canceled. If it snowed while we were in school, we get out at 12 o'clock. Like that's always, it's clockwork. So, and it don't matter if it stick or not. If it start, it's like everything shut down.
Yeah,
I don't need to be anywhere. Yeah, I don't need to be anywhere where it's snow. They're like, oh yeah, everything open. No, it's snowing. That means it's a holiday. Everything should be shut down. That's what I feel.
I'm with you on that one. I'm when it snows, I'm looking at my coworkers like, it's a wrap. Come on, let's go.
Y'all ain't unplugging this stuff. It's time to go. Pull your chargers out the wall. Let's go. It's time to go.
Oh man, T, yo, I'm gonna let you go. But yeah, shout out to the people that rocked with us on this behind the scenes conversation. We appreciate it. It's been dope. For the hottest minute, I forgot that these people was with us. So we appreciate y'all.
We talking about George and everything, bro. You know, I ain't know I was gonna talk about.
Yeah, so but yeah, no, we appreciate you. Next week we are going to be back to topics and stuff. As we said, we're going to be talking about borrowing from our gift, and we're going to be oh, do we talk? Yeah, we're going to
that won't be about it.
we're going to drop the episodes differently now, so it's still going to be the 3 segments, but we're going to split them out. You'll get 1 episode split out over 3 weeks, so that way it's easier to consume. It's easier for us to manage for you, because it's a lot of work that goes into putting out these videos and putting out the episodes and editing the episodes and doing all of that stuff. Hit us up in the comments, because if some of you still want the full episodes like that, we can still drop the audio podcast where you can get the whole thing at once. We might look at other ways of dropping that. I might drop on our Patreon, and you know.
I was about to say Patreon.
So, y'all want me to do the work? Make me do the work.
Look. See, we're gonna take a baby church. You wanna, sow into good ground. If you want to harvest, sow into good ground. Sow into Imperfectly Human. You will be blessed.
Oh yeah, man.
Amen.
So yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna shake up the format a bit, but it's still the same 3 segments. We're just gonna chop it out to make it easier to consume. But yeah, we want to thank you for rocking up with us this week, and we will catch up with you another time. So be good to each other and be good to yourselves. We'll catch you on the other side.
All right.
All right.